Good evening, everyone. So, guys, in the previous session, you have seen how to deploy a Linux machine or a Windows machine on top of your subnets, right? See, this is the diagram if you guys remember properly, right? So, in the zone one, we have deployed the Linux machine, guys. That is basically the subnet with 01. And in the zone 2, or you can see the subnet 02, we have deployed the Windows machine and we have given the name of our Linux machine as a IBM YT QA Linux 01, right? And the Windows machine is IBM YT QA Windows 01, right? So till now we have seen how to deploy a Linux machine or a Windows machine on inside your VPC, right? This is your VPC. But now today we are going to see how we can deploy application on top of your Linux machine and on top of your Windows machine, guys. Correct? Before that, do you guys have any doubt?
No, sir.
Good. So, guys, just see here very carefully because this is the most important topic, okay? Where basically we are going to host application or you are going to deploy your application on top of your Linux machine and your Windows server, guys. Okay. So, first let's log into the console of your AWS, right? So, just click on this EC2. So you can see two instances which is keep on running as because earlier I have stopped it after the class, but again I have started it. But I just wanted to show you one more thing again. As I said, if you remember properly, the private IP did not change. It is still 10.0.1.238. Correct? But the public IP got changed, correct? And that is what I was telling, right? When you restart your machine or when you delete delete your obviously if you delete your machine it's going to be okay. So when you restart the public IP it's going to be changed, but the private IP is going to be the same, guys. Same thing if you see here for the Windows machine which we have created in the last session, still it is 10.0.2.33, correct? 233, right? But the public IP got changed, yes or no, guys? Correct.
Yes.
Okay, now we have to deploy a application, whether it's a web application or it's a app based application, anything it could be. Whether it's a web server or a app server, right? Whether you are going to deploy a dynamic application or you are going to deploy a static application, guys. So where you are going to deploy, obviously on top of your Linux machine or on top of your Windows machine, right? That is what. So just think that you are going to deploy a dynamic application or basically or static application on top of your Linux machine, guys, right? So for that, let's go to this, understand this complete chronology, guys. Basically, see the same thing again I am going to explain you in DevOps, but before that you need to understand. See, now if you have to deploy something, guys, okay, whether it's a web application or web server or a app server, right? So there are some architecture we need to follow, right? You have heard this one many times, right? That what do you mean by application architecture, configuration architecture, or deployment architecture, guys, right? So if you talk about application architecture, guys, so in application architecture we discussed three things. What all those three things are there? So these three things are basically the architecture. Most of the time you have heard we have to migrate our monolithic application to cloud, right? Have you guys heard of this one or not?
In
Okay,
my class, that class people.
correct. Your voice is not audible, Vishal, right? So, okay, listen carefully. So, whenever you have to deploy a on premises application to cloud, So basically, those on-premises application could be your monolithic application, could be your obviously most of the time you are going to encounter with monolithic application only, and there could be a n-tier application and microservices. So if you have to deploy any of the application on a Linux or a Windows server, let me correct this one. This is Windows server, right? So we have to follow a application architecture. So one is your monolithic, another one is your n-tier, right? Another one is your microservices, which is famous nowadays, okay? Which you have heard. Because of this only DevOps came into the picture, guys, okay? Where there is a huge demand of DevOps engineer, and there is a huge demand that every application they wanted to convert into microservices. See, you have an application, whether it's a static application or a dynamic application, right? Doesn't matter. But everyone wants to convert it into a microservices, because to monitor microservices, it is bit easy, right? And this is why the DevOps role evolved over here. So when you talk about application architecture, so who is going to manage all these things? So these are your developers and DevOps guys. Understanding my point? But when you talk about configuration architecture, like suppose if you have to, there will be a LAMP server, there will be a XAMPP server, there will be a WAMP server. Okay. So what all these things I'll explain you what you, and we are going to basically these are the stacks, guys. So if suppose if you are going with a microservices, or if you are going with a monolithic also, or if you are going with a n-tier architecture, so that is a architecture, but you are not telling what all things you are going to install, right? What all things you are going to configure, right? So if you talk about monolithic architecture, then you should talk about that. See, here just try to understand. So there will be a web server, there will be a app server, there will be a database. Understanding my point, guys? But when I'm talking about configuration of architecture, right? So what all stacks you have to install, right? So that your application should be up and running whenever a user is trying to reach that application, whether it's a fresher tube only. Let's take this application only. This is a website. This is my blogging website, guys. So this is a dynamic website. This is not a static website. So that difference also I'll tell you. What do you mean by static website? What do you mean by a dynamic website? This is a dynamic website, guys. Understanding my point? So to make this application, suppose being a user, if you have to reach out to this application, how this application is configured, you need to know, right? So this is why there is something called configuration architecture, and under that configuration architecture, we follow some kind of stacks. That is your lamp. Okay, so this lamp architecture will be there. There is something called, if you see, let me go over here. See, this is application architecture, configuration architecture, and deployment architecture, guys. So basically, LAMP we use, this is basically a stack, right? And to prepare a LAMP server, right? What all exactly a LAMP server is all about? That is nothing but this is your Linux, Apache, MySQL, or MariaDB. I said very clearly, MySQL earlier, MySQL was a open source, but later on it got licensed. So now you can deploy instead of, because both of them everything is same. There is a not a slight difference. Both are exactly a copycat of same. Like Linux in RHEL is there and Fedora is there, right? If you, or your CentOS is there, right? If you go, if you see RHEL, and RHEL is not, now it's open source, right? It is licensed, right? But if you go and CentOS, you'll be going to get it's basically from the open community, right? Everyone can contribute into that one, right? So this is the stack, like your Linux, your Apache, your MySQL, and PHP MyAdmin. We used to call this one. PHP is nothing but basically it's going to be your Perl or a Python, right? It's a scripting language, guys, or it's a language only to basically develop all your functionals, all your logics and all. Same like your Java, right? If you have to build any websites and all, we use PHP, guys, right? So these are the popular stacks of open source software used for web development. Correct? Linux again understand. So Linux it's going to be your operating system which we have already installed. Apache means on which server you are going to run your application. So do we need database, right? Or we don't need a database? So that I'll tell you. Don't worry about that one. Okay. But come over here. So that is how it has to be a stack. So for XAMPP also you can go and search from your end that what do you mean by XAMPP stack. Windows is nothing but it's going to, like LAMP stack is there. So same way WAMP stack will be there. Instead of Linux, it's going to be Windows, guys. Windows, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. So and when you yeah, and when you talk about okay deployment architecture, right? So you have heard of two-tier architecture, you have heard of three-tier architecture, but nobody is telling that what is the basic difference between all these things. Everyone is talking about a three-tier architecture or a two-tier architecture. That depends upon your deployment model, guys, right? And this entire thing, because since who is going to take care of your configuration part, who is going to take care of your deployment part, that is your operations team. Like your SRE team is there, like your platform team is there, like your application support team will be there, production support team will be there, right? Who is going to, those are your basically ops team. Now you guys are understanding my point, how we are reaching to the application side here. So first you have to know these things completely, correct? Where you have to end knowledge of,
Right, sir.
see, right now you understand from this only lamp. So how a lamp server works. Okay, so Linux is there, then Apache, then MySQL, and then PHP. Getting my point? Means your
Right, right.
operating system is coming first, correct? So this is why if you see this workflow, so what we have done, we have designed our network first, correct? Suppose this user has to reach to this subnet 01 to this virtual machine where you have hosted your application. Application means what? It could be your web application also, it could be your app server also. Means it could be a suppose this is fresher tube, right? And there are some big applications which you used to see, right? That I'll tell you, okay, what all those big applications are there, correct? So the whole see, you have to understand the complete, the how it exactly, from where it exactly coming from, guys. That is what I just wanted to show you over here, right? Now let's come over here. So just try to understand the monolithic architecture. Friends, to watch complete video, please type in Google Abhishek Roshan. Just press enter. So you can see my icon and this is HTTPS. Just click on Abhishek Roshan. So it will lead you, it will redirect you to my website where my app is also available in the Android, right? So you can download the app from Play Store. If you click on this one, you will be able to download and install Engineer Abhishek Roshan app. This is my logo. You can understand from here. Else, you can directly come over here, right? And you can buy my courses. Just click on courses. So the same course or the same video what you are watching in YouTube, the complete video is available in my 100 days of IT corporate bootcamp, my friend. Okay, the complete series is available. You can click on this one and you can buy this course, my friend. Right. So like this, you can buy the course and also you can install Engineer Abhishek Roshan app. So, guys, I'm ending up the session here only. Thank you for staying connected with me. Let's connect again tomorrow. Right? Till then, just take care of yourself, your loved one. Bye bye and Jai Hind.